Hold on one sec. Oh, good. It's on. Hi. Hi.
We love you. See, I'm clapping to you, too. Thank you. I just wanted to tell you, so cool how the hush fell over the room. I am going to be, when you see me on my phone, it's because I'm on the YouTube live stream chat. So I'm not like being disengaged from the service, okay? Just wanted to tell you all that. And I'm so happy to see you. We're going to get started.
Good morning. I am Lynn Kendall. Welcome. Whether the Unitarian Church of Evanston is your spiritual home, or you are seeking comfort and connection in uncertain times, we are grateful you are with us. We are an inclusive and welcoming community, seeking truth in love and striving to nurture the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles, all 8 of them, and values which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. Together, let us remember our kinship with one another, and may we hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and careful attention. There are many links of connection in the comments section of the YouTube live stream, including the order of service credits, ways to support our mission, and to be added to our email newsletter list. A few announcements. Our Faith Formation Hour will begin after the service on Sunday, October 3rd. As you hopefully have seen in the table sent home, each Sunday will have a different focus for reflection, art and music, anti-racism and anti-oppression, spiritual practices, and social justice. You will find more information about each Sunday's offering on the website, and you'll be guided each Sunday on what is happening where. Next Sunday, Evanston Mayor Daniel Biss and a representative from defund Chicago Police Department will be joining us at 11:30 a.m. for our first forum session of the year to discuss police accountability. The Membership Engagement Task Force is looking for individuals interested in a 1-year commitment to work on improving membership engagement opportunities at UCE. Please see the newsletter for detailed information about the 3 working groups: communication, facilitating engagement, and leadership development. Susan Carlton will be available on the South Lawn after our ceremony today to answer questions or get you signed up. Before we get started with worship, Will and Jonna Van Dyke will introduce our current lobby artist, Nina Weiss.
First of all, I have to apologize. Jonna's not feeling well, so you get the second in command here. And good morning. It is great to be together again after so long apart, and we are really pleased to once again institute our Lobby Arts program. Our current artist for the next 3 months rather, is Nina Weiss, and she is the queen of giant landscape painting. She's a painter, she's a traveler, she's a teacher. She views landscape as a magical way to communicate with us. As a transplant from the East Coast, she has embraced the Midwest landscaping. She makes these stunning landscapes in her studio in Evanston, and we would love for you to join us in the lobby afterward. You can talk to Nina and ask her about her artwork. Thank you.
After the service today, we will head outside for a ceremony to bless our building and grounds with some of the water from our communion today. Then we will have coffee, tea, lemonade, water, and conversation on the lawn. Those of you participating in the service from home are welcome to come to the building if you are able, or you may wish to come to UCE sometime during the week and add your water to our blessing. And now, I invite you to get your chalices ready, set a place for yourself and your family as we join in beloved community.
Our opening reading is Beginning Again on the Continuous Journey by Marta I. Valentin. She's a UU minister, poet, and drummer of Puerto Rican heritage. By the grace of the divine power, which is larger-hearted than we can ever imagine, we are constantly given the opportunity to begin again. As the signposts along the continuous journey suggest twists and turns we had not brought into view, for the focus was on the mountains just ahead, beyond the ridge. By the faith of the divine power that lives through the trust of our human ability, we are constantly offered the challenge to test the waters, not just smooth the inevitable ripples to a shiny, satiny finish, as if that were the goal of life. Losing all character by not realizing the swells are what make life interesting, intriguing, indescribable. By the love of the divine power whose very core is compassion. For our earthly missteps on this journey, we are constantly given an opening. To remember that we each have a place in the kingdom of humanity, and the knowledge and courage to begin again toward a faith-filled, loving grace that is our birthright. Welcome to worship.
The Unitarian Church of Evanston sits on stolen lands, the traditional and current homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations. Many other tribes, such as the Miami, Menominee, Ho-Chunk, Sac, and Fox, have and continue to call this area home. We name these in honor and respect for the land, all the animals and plants that have lived on and through the land, and all the people who have been and remain a part of the earth. Our shared faith calls us to name these as one small effort toward a greater accountability, deeper relationship, and mutuality with our ancestors and descendants. Please rise in body and or spirit as Linda and Leslie LaPlante and Tim Decker light the chalice in memory of John LaPlante, who was a beloved member of this congregation. Please join in saying these words. We come with the weight of life held quietly in the secret spaces of our heart. The ballast of our spirits so easily shifts and knocks us off center. Into this place we walk hoping to find a voice, a song, a moment of sacred silence that will bring us back to balance, that will anchor us again in beauty, trust, and connection. We light our chalice this morning in gratitude for many ways we help each other return home. Please remain uplifted and join in saying the words of our beloved covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Our hymn is Return Again, number 1011, and Earth, Air, Fire, and Water. Please sing along if you are participating from home. Those of you here, please enjoy the choir's recording and hum along or mouth the words, but please refrain from singing out loud.
Return
I'm so excited and pleased to welcome our storyteller this morning, Olivia Bear. Olivia is a creative writing and theater student at Northwestern University, and she was one of our storytellers for our Wednesday gatherings on the lawn in July. She will join us in worship every other month and offer a storytelling workshop for our second Sunday Faith Formation Hour. Welcome, Olivia.
Hi, everyone. Ooh. I'm so glad to be joining you today. And I'm going to tell you a story about how I love when it rains. I recently took a bike ride to the Baha'i Temple. It was a gorgeous, sunny day. I had just gotten back from visiting my family in Pennsylvania that morning. I was wearing my favorite jean shorts and a white crop top, so it was a good vibe. When I got there, I found that the doors were open for the first time since I had been there during the pandemic. I had come by every now and then, but I was never allowed inside, so I was psyched. I put on my mask, I took off my sunglasses, and as I was walking inside, I realized that, well, although God probably doesn't care, I was wearing inappropriate attire for a place of worship. A crop top. jean shorts. I understandably may have felt a little uncomfortable. And so I thought that I could really redeem myself by building rapport with the space, by sitting and meditating and really being there, not fidgeting around or going on my phone or taking pictures. I had rapport to build with this space and the people there, so I sat still with my eyes closed for what began as 15 minutes. This turned into over an hour because it started pouring out of nowhere, of course. Not exactly a bad place to be stuck during a rainstorm, but I had things to do. I was moving out in a couple of days. I had to get groceries. I had to schedule movers. I had to cancel my recurring payments at my old apartment and start paying for my new recurring payments at my new apartment. I had enough inner peace and meditation, and I was ready to get going. When it finally stopped raining, I darted out of there to get to Trader Joe's. I was feeling good until a raindrop hit my forehead, and then another raindrop, and then another, and you know what happens in these August flash rainstorms. In about 5 minutes, I could have just as well been standing in the middle of the lake. It was not a part of my plan to be sitting on my bike at a stoplight on Sheridan Road in a downpour. It was my plan to make it a productive day, but somehow feeling like a wet rag slung over the side of a bathtub, what really could I do about this? I wasn't going to suddenly be dry by resisting the rain, by being mad at it, by ignoring it. So, what if I considered the rain as an event rather than an inconvenience? What if I find extra puddles to jump in? And what if I take my bike off of the road and go over to the Shakespeare Garden to see what it looks like in the rain? And what if there I find myself as a flower in that garden too, drinking, sputtering, glad in the showers? This made me think about how interesting it is that although a drought can inflict as much damage to living things as a flood on, of course we're talking extremes here, rain is what is categorized as sadness, metaphorically speaking. The sun is happy, it's bright, and the rain is gloomy. It's cold and it's sad. But it's just doing its job. It's watering the ground, the plants. This active avoidance of rain that I have, and I'm sure many of you have done for the majority of your lives, I don't think that this is a given, but rather a learned perspective. Colin Ingraham, aged 8, grade 3, from Crestview Elementary School says, "When it rains, I want to go outside because I love the rain. Mostly because I love water, and water is rain, but it's falling from the sky." Caitlin Graham, aged 9, grade 3, says, "When it rains, I like to play a board game inside with my family. Or me and my brother would go in our backyard and jump on the trampoline." Juliana says, "I like rain because it's just cool. Rarely my mom lets me go in the rain because she says that I will catch a cold. My mom is always right." As we grow older, further away from our child selves, these wise little selves that understand such simple truths about life. Things that were once magical become ordinary, become annoying. Rain isn't a bad thing until the sun is assigned a smiley face and the clouds get a frown. Until mom is in a bad mood when it pours, and so rain must be a bad thing, because mom is always right. In my life, rain comes all of the time, in many different forms. One drop after the other into a vat of compiling aggravations. During the pandemic, my tolerance for the rain has shrunk significantly. I feel lonely, not because I have FOMO, the fear of missing out, but because there is nothing happening in the first place. And then the rain picks up. I have to wait in a long grocery store line with a mask on. My stomach hurts. I forget to turn in an online assignment on Zoom, and again, I'm the student who can't stay on track. Dishes pile and pile in the sink. I turn on the news or look at my phone, and again I feel horrified and powerless. My plants, they die because they live inside and I didn't water them. The rain is pounding on my roof, and I have had enough. I want to get to that sun on the horizon bike. I'll bike faster and faster, and I think that maybe I can get there before I'm drenched. Maybe I don't have to suffer. But inevitably, when I come to a stoplight, and I don't want to get hit by a car, so I stop, I look around, and I see everybody else. Some more drenched than others, dripping wet by my side. Some people's ceilings are leaking too, through no fault of their own, and some people's basements are flooded. And I would have just kept riding, but I stopped, looking around, breathing and understanding. What are we going to do to get through this? And not just get through it, but live through it. Make it better now. That's what everyone is trying to figure out, right? For me, I think I will dance. I think I will laugh, and I will slosh around in the mud, and I will love the rain. Because I can't hate the world into being a better version of itself. It's easier said than done, but there are far too many rainstorms to spend them all inside. And besides, who doesn't love some good puddles? Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. You are a fantastic storyteller, but I got to tell you, that was a homily. And that's a good thing. That's a compliment. Good job. Each Sunday, we hold space for the joys and sorrows of those gathered here, honoring the struggles and the triumphs, the brokenness and the wholeness that is woven into the human experience. Take my mask off. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like spoken aloud in future services, you can write it in the Joys and Sorrows book at the back of the sanctuary. You can submit it through our website Google form, or if you're at home, you can enter them into the chat. These are the joys and sorrows that have been shared today. Bill Hartering shares this. Our next-door neighbor, Beth Emmett, required all who attended Friday's Inside Shabbat service to covenant in writing that they are vaccinated, overcoming complex logistics with its larger congregation. Given very recent action by President Biden and yesterday's release of detailed medical data specifically regarding those who are unvaccinated, I hope UCE can creatively reconsider our present COVID protocols. Mary Dudek shares, sorry, I'm finding my correct page. Mary Dudek shares, today on the 20th anniversary of 9/11, or yesterday, I'm really at a loss of words to express where I am after these many years. I do feel a great sense of loss for so many reasons. UCE has been a sanctuary for peace and goodwill over these years, and I'm grateful that we held on to that. May we be able to build upon this with more courage and with more unity. From Sandra Robinson, my spirit is with you today on this ingathering and reopening of our services in the building. I continue to be with my family in Southern Illinois. My brother Dan is slowly progressing, and we are now more hopeful for his full recovery. He is breathing on his own. Tomorrow his vent will be removed. And she further says, I am needed here for a bit longer as my older vaccinated brother Michael recovers from COVID and Mom recovers from a stress fracture. A lot going on. And I am the primary caretaker of her during this time. Your loving thoughts and prayers and support have kept me going. Jordan Strieber writes, a joy. On Friday, they had surgery and have been waiting for, that they have been waiting several months to have, and which seems to have been successful. I'm grateful that and humbled by all the support the beloved community has provided, including meals, rides to appointments, and calls, cards, emails expressing care and concern. Y'all made a terrible experience bearable, and I am holding so much love for the community. And these written in our book today. Kathy Underwood writes, I just learned this morning that a mother of 3 young people at my former congregation in Elgin has died from COVID. While she was only in her 50s and had health issues, she also refused to wear a mask and get vaccinated. This gives me many mixed feelings. Sending thoughts and prayers to the Howell family. Carla Williams and Cheryl Mounts write, so very happy to return to the UCE building and be with our community. Love to all. And Karen Courtwright writes, so pleased to celebrate my beloved husband's, Steve's, birthday and settled job situation by returning to our UCE community with you all. Happy birthday, Steve. And congrats. And a sorrow from Kathy Talmadge. My friends Jill and Link Hampton lost Link's only daughter, Angela, 36 years. Loving thoughts to them. I'm just checking real quick to see if there's any others that have been added to our chat. But it looks like we're good. Many greetings from home. Thank you, Susan. This sacred space for our tender offerings is part of the practice of beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and lessen the burden of our grief. Please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, source of love, we call you into this moment to rest with us, to sink into our souls and fill us with reverence for life. Each of us is holding so much, filled to capacity with grief, worry, excitement, frustration, anger, hope, wonder. Give us the strength to hold all of it with faith that these feelings do not define us or make up the whole of who we are. Allow us our moments. And allow us to move through these emotions, unattached, breathing, releasing. We honor in this community of resistance and resilience the loss of life and the loss of imagined innocence of 20 years ago. May we hold that grief, that shock, with tenderness and ever open-heartedness. For those who have resisted the lure of hate in response to fear, we give thanks and strive toward that transforming power of love. We pray for those who are hurting, suffering without basic needs, living with unequal impact of climate change, and those who are most at risk of harm from this seemingly endless pandemic. May they be well. May we be well. May we all know peace and ease. May each of us orient our lives toward greater liberation, possibility, and love. Amen.
Now, can you hear me? Yeah, that's good. In the spirit of prayer and in gratitude for rain, we are going to create a rainstorm. I'm sure some of you have done this before, especially younger people. So what we're going to do is kind of like you're at a stadium and you do the wave, you know, that thing where you go like this. We're going to start with this side of the room, and I will show you with each motion, and gradually we'll go across the room. And then we'll do another one and go back and forth. You'll get the hang of it, okay? Ready? First, we're gonna start by just rubbing our hands together a little bit. Just this side of the room. And slowly go this way. And good timing. And as you hear the sounds, what emotions come up for you? As the rain gets a little louder, now rub your thighs, starting at this side of the room and going slowly over to that side. Can you hear it? The rain is starting to come a little closer. Now this side, we're going to snap our fingers. Slowly to the side. Snap a little louder. It's a gentle rain right now. Now this side, start clapping your hands a little bit, but you keep snapping over here. And as the wave goes towards you, change to clapping. A little louder. If anyone brought a rain stick, and people at home, if you have a rain stick, A little louder. Now, start stomping your feet and clamping. Woo! And if you want to add shh, shh, keep stomping and clapping. Now just clap. You stomp, but you keep clapping. Back to finger snapping. Leg rubbing. And then hand rubbing. And here comes the rainbow. Thank you.
As we say in our covenant each Sunday, service is our law. UCE is called by our mission, values, and principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. Today's offering will be shared with Deborah's Place, whose mission is opening doors of opportunity and helping women experiencing homelessness in Chicago. Here is a video highlighting their work.
Hi, I'm Jean Durkin. I've been a UCE member for the last 20 years, and I've been working at Deborah's Place since 1987. Today, I'm grateful for all the volunteering and financial support that UCE has offered us over the many, many years. Let me tell you some good news about our last fiscal quarter. 412 women were served, and over 90% had health insurance. They maintained stable housing. They increased or maintained their income. And these are women who have come from the streets and the shelters seeking a permanent end to their experience of homelessness. We at Deborah's Place have supported them as they have done the hard work needed to come home. During the pandemic, our tenants are maintaining their housing, and they're trying to stay as connected as they can with family and friends. But we are seeing a greater symptoms of mental and physical health issues during the isolation. The isolation is taking its toll on us. Mask donations and PPE are keeping us safe. Social distance is becoming more automatic. It's with the generous support of the Unitarian Church of Evanston and other donors that we've been able to maintain our services and keep our residents and staff safe as we follow the CDC guidelines. Here at Deborah's Place, we weave together supportive housing with a menu of voluntary evidence-based services. We deliver these services in an intentional environment that recognizes each woman's strength and ability and fosters a sense of belonging and community. Even with the challenge of COVID, we find ways to continue to engage this vulnerable population. We've made sure that the participants were counted both in the census and voting. For over 35 years at Deborah's Place, we've been using external research and internal data to develop and deliver our effective programs and services. We know that the women who experience chronic homelessness can overcome complex barriers to housing, health, and stability when they have what they need to be successful. access to affordable and appropriate housing, adequate health care, regular income, and positive social supports. If you have any questions about the work of Deborah's Place, feel free to contact me or check out our website at www.deborahsplace.org. Thanks so much. I really do appreciate you, and I'll see you. I'll see you around. Bye.
$503. If you are joining us from home or in the building, you may text to give, mail in a check, or give from our website. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering, pledge, capital campaign, or some other giving. If you are in the building, we have several offertory collection boxes. In room 3 and room 6, the envelopes to put your money in and the collection box are on a table by one of the doors. If you are outside, please put your offering in one of the envelopes and put the envelope back in the clear envelope holder. If you are here in the sanctuary, please either raise your hand for the usher to walk by you with the collection bowl, or there is a collection box with envelopes to put your money in on a table by the doors to the lobby. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give bring you joy.
A Riff by Mark Morrison Reed. I came as rain, a droplet from the sky, splashing, returning to sisters and brothers. A trickle, then a rivulet, a cascading stream following the course of least resistance. Ponds, rapids, lake, river, growing deep and powerful, placid and powerful, flowing into the ocean, and a silence that is not an end. I came as a cloud, shading those I loved. Dew that glistened and evaporated, tears coursing down, waters of joy and gratitude. Life's precipitation can't be captured or contained, only kissed.
Good morning. I'm Vicki Hellier, Director of Music at the Unitarian Church of Evanston. In 2019, when we auditioned singers for the section leader positions, I had no idea how much these singers would enhance our lives. When we met in person, all three excelled as choir section leaders and as soloists. And then during lockdown, when we made the transition to online services, well, can you imagine where we would have been without these talented singers coming into our homes on a weekly basis? I'd like to thank Jen Weisgarver, Karina Stribley, and Morgan Mastrangelo for sharing their talented, hardworking, fun, and delightful selves with us. Karina and Morgan are no longer with us as they have moved out of state, which allowed them to continue participating while the services were entirely virtual. But of course, that doesn't work now that we're doing more music making in person. I'm excited for both of them, but I will miss them greatly. And I'd like to thank them for their wonderful work these last 2 years. I'm thrilled to share that Jen and her family still live nearby, and that Jen is continuing to be our soprano section leader. Yay! And I'm happy to introduce our newest alto section leader, Kylie Corey. Jen and Kylie are in today's videos recorded on Thursday in our sanctuary with the choir. And speaking of the choir, I must say it's a powerful experience getting to work in person with these lovely people again. Thank you, UCE choristers, and thank you, section leaders, past and present, for your wonderful work.
There is a love
It's okay. Water is life, flowing within, among, and beyond us. Water is power, the power to heal, shape, create, and destroy. Water is refreshing and devastating. Today we come together in person and virtually after so much time apart. We return to something, though our interconnection has never really been severed. All this time, the water of life has continued to flow outside and around this space. We have found connection through our screens, behind masks, and at a distance. We have found ways to stay together as a congregation, practicing beloved community so that we may gather the nourishing forces of mission in covenant. We come together to nurture our spirits and strive to make the world whole with love as the spirit of this church and service as its law. As we gather the waters of our individual lives, people of many ages and identities, bringing our singular journeys into one collective pool, we pay attention to the preciousness of this resource, which in its essential and ubiquitous nature we can easily take for granted. Water, we thank you for all you bring and give, for your cycle of life. We acknowledge the losses and the devastations many have experienced in the wake of your power all around the world. And we mourn your absence in places experiencing drought and catastrophic fires. We know that you, water of life, are not to blame for the floods, hurricanes, and drought. As a people, we have forgotten how to live in harmony with you and with the earth. May we remember and return to honor and respect for all life. May we repair all of our relationships in love, courage, and resilience. We are here to celebrate and mourn, to lift up what is of worth in our lives, and to empower ourselves and one another to live more fully who we long to be in a world we yearn to co-create.
The water communion is a uniquely Unitarian Universalist ritual. Since it was first done more than 20 years ago at a women's conference in Michigan, it has become a widely shared process for gathering a Unitarian Universalist faith community together in the fall after the looser schedule of the summer.
This year, our water communion ceremony marks not only the start of our community's new church year together, it also marks our return to the building to worship in person after a year and a half of being only online. So during our water communion ceremony this morning, we will also be preparing to bless our building and grounds. You will be invited to take your water to one of the tables near you and pour the water in the vase. If you forgot your water, that's okay. You can use the pitcher of water that's at the table to symbolize the gifts that you've received from water this summer. If you use the common pitcher, there is hand sanitizer on the offertory tables if you want that. After you have poured some water in the vase, please share where your water is from and what it symbolizes to you, such as what memories it embodies or what hopes or wishes it carries. With the individual who is standing at the table, you can share it with them one-on-one, or you can add it to the chat online. Before you leave the table, please take a stone from the star-shaped bowl. After the service today, we will be using the stones in the blessing of the buildings and of the building and grounds.
If you are at home, you are invited to get a bowl to pour your water into and to get a stone if you have one nearby. If you are in room 3, the altar is at the front of the table with a purple cloth, and Amy will be holding our space. If you are outside, the altar is toward the sanctuary with a green tablecloth, and Ruth will be holding our space. If you are in the sanctuary, we have 4 tables, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. We have ushers, and I invite our 3 water communion ushers to go to their marks. Our ushers will help direct you to your section's table. So Carolyn in the white shirt will direct the folks in the front. So everyone to her right is going to be coming up to the table and the altar by the ramp, and everyone to her left is going to be coming up to the altar by the piano. Jean, who's in the sundress, will be directing our folks, and so if you are towards her left and towards the back of the sanctuary, you're actually going to go towards the altar that is by the Joys and Sorrows table. And then our third group, Tori will be our usher. Tori's in the black and white stripes. And that group is the very last row of this section, and everyone in our cafe. So I invite you to wait until your usher has gestured for your row to go toward the altar in your section. And we're going to go slow, and we're not going to make long lines. Please approach the altars a few people at a time. Know that there is plenty of time for us all to engage in our water communion ceremony together. Give each other plenty of physical space and employ your patience as we step up to the altars. Before we move to the altars, please enjoy this poem titled "I Am Water," posted anonymously on Power Poetry, the world's largest mobile poetry community for youth.
I want to be like water, flowing freely with the current.
I want to be like water, infiltrating life into the seeds buried deep.
I want to be like water, forcefully falling down, then peacefully swaying to the tune of the Serenity Sea.
I want to be like water, rushing and relaxing when need be.
I want to be like water, making its way through the cracks, even when the barrier's concrete.
I want to be like water, riding with the tide and tumbling over rocks.
I want to be like water, quenching the thirst of the driest areas on earth.
I want to be like water, rippling the influence of the rock's first splash.
I want to be like water, reflecting the beauty of a sunset that ignites every eye.
I want to be water, resourceful for all.
I want to be water, cleansing out impurities from within.
I want to be water, sometimes uncontrollable, sometimes in control.
I want to be like water, connecting the world from distances too far.
I want to be like water, flowing wherever you are.
I want to be like water, transforming in motion yet ever the same.
I am like water.
I am free.
I am love.
I am life.
I ever flow.
I invite those who will be grounding our spaces in the sanctuary in rooms 3 and 6 and outside to take your place at the altar. And remember to share what is on your heart about the water that you're pouring into the vase. Oh, and we'll be showing the water communion video of the pictures that y'all sent in. Enjoy that.
I offer you these words by Reverend Brett Lorty from my very first UCE Homecoming Sunday. From the four corners of the compass and drawn from the rivers of our lives, we share more than the waters we bring here today. We share our dream of beloved community and renewal. We share our willingness to jump into the flow and be together wherever the river takes us. And we share in the joy that brings us here together. So let us jump into the river of this year, into both its wild, raging rapids and its slow, meandering flows. For even if we don't know where it may take us, we know we'll be together at river's end. Blessed be.
As Linda, Leslie, and Tim extinguish the chalice, please join in saying these words. Though the flame is extinguished, we carry with us the warmth of community, the light of truth, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.
Okay, that one's really hard to not sing aloud too, I gotta say. But we did it. Let us move out into the waiting world, refreshed and renewed by the spirit of collective possibility here among us and beyond us. May we carry this fortitude and love with mindfulness and care to co-create a world more beautiful and free. But before you depart, I want you to take your stone from the water communion and hold it in your hands and feel the shape of that stone and its texture. And if you're at home and you don't have a stone, hold your hands together and hold the hand of someone near you. Feel the warmth of your hands start to increase. We will take a moment of silence for you to think about what you wish for this congregation. Imbue your wish for this congregation in your stone. For those of us joining online, at some point over the next week, you are invited to pour your water and bring your stone and leave it someplace on the grounds. You may wish to pause when you leave your stone and pour the water to recall your wish for this congregation. And for those of you in the building, in a moment, we're going to head outside to the south lawn, carry your stone, and find a place on the ground to leave your stone, anywhere except where it's going to get kicked up by lawnmowers or make somebody trip on a ramp or something like that. Try to find a good place to tuck it in. But wherever you decide to leave your stone, stop and wait in this place and then turn toward the building. We want to end up having everyone surrounding the building if possible, in some kind of circle-like shape. It'll probably be much more amoebus than that. But so you may have to adjust a little bit and spread out as you leave your stones.
Today, we will include in our ceremonial blessing of our building and grounds the tradition of libations, which takes several forms, and the one we will use today is the ritual of pouring liquids. The tradition of libations originated somewhere in the upper Nile Valley in ancient times, spread out to other regions of Africa and the world, and is still used in its traditional form as an offering to a deity or in memory of one's ancestors in Asian American and African American communities. In our blessing of our building and grounds, we will also include the tradition of smudging, which is the ceremonial burning of herbs. The tradition of smudging originated among the indigenous peoples of the Americas, and it is still used in its traditional form of burning sacred herbs by Native American communities. We use these ritual forms with a grateful heart and with a humble recognition of the colonialistic history which brought these traditions to our faith community. Reverend Eileen will walk clockwise around the circle of people that you make, and she will give each of you an opportunity to take a handful of water and put it on the ground. Will be a ladle, so you can use the ladle, or if you want to take your own vial that you brought your water in to scoop in, you can either use your vial or the ladle. So you'll scoop out a piece of water and put it on the ground in front of you, and this will be the blessing of our grounds. And then I will also be walking clockwise around the building with burning sage and going around the foundation and cleansing the exits and the entrances, the doors of our building, and this will be our blessing of the building.
And after the building and ground blessing, please join us on the south lawn for beverages and conversation. Grateful for this physical space that has waited for our return. Grateful for the physical space that will continue to be here even if we have to go away again for a time. May your wishes for our faith community blossom and grow. Thank you for being here.